What's up, everybody? I'm finally back. Yes, it's been close to about a month, actually, since I've been back. UnderTheWire85 here on YouTube, bringing you weekly videos pertaining to the world of wrestling. Work took me away from doing these videos for quite some time. Had to work split shifts, and quite frankly, I needed the sleep. And the other thing was, I did not want to put out videos from wrestling that I couldn't watch. So, because of that, I'm back now. I'm going to be putting out at least one of these every week. I don't have time. I said I was going to put out two on my Facebook page, but it just didn't happen. Ran out of time, and so now I'm just going to do my predictions for the upcoming pay-per-view, TLC. Like I said, a lot of things have happened since I've been gone. Some champions have changed, some have stayed the same, some angles have been put into the limelight, which I don't know how much I'll go into, quite frankly, because this is a predictions video for TLC 2012, the last pay-per-view of the year before we hit the Royal Rumble and we get all the hoopla of The Rock getting a title shot against CM Punk at this point, because there are currently 6 matches on the card, including 7 if you include the pre-show match, which I assume there'll probably be a throw-in match somewhere. I don't know. I don't see a couple of main players on this list, so we might see a throw-in match at some point. Last pay-per-view of the year. Normally, this one, and I believe it's Elimination Chamber that's right before WrestleMania, are 2 of the harder pay-per-views to sell, because at this point in the WWE, the 2 pay-per-views that matter the most are the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. I guess Money in the Bank has kind of taken a slot as a big one. SummerSlam has really lost its fervor, and Survivor Series has really lost its fervor. So with that said, these are very hard to prop up, get people excited for, get pay-per-view buys for, because more people are excited to drop down the money for the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. So with that said, this event is in Brooklyn, the new Barclays Center. Beautiful facility. First WWE pay-per-view event in this new building. I'm sure they will have more, because it is such a great facility. They will want to use it. Do not be surprised if Money in the Bank in a couple of years is here, or if the Rumble is here, or if WrestleMania is here within the next 5 years. I'm telling you now, that's how nice of a facility they think it is, and I've seen it. It's actually pretty nice. So with that said, we had, we've had some really developing situations in the WWE, and I'm just going to get into it. The pre-show match is a Santa's Little Helpers Battle Royal for the number 1 contendership for the Divas Championship, which is currently still held by Eve. This match includes Layla, Kaitlyn, Alicia Fox, Natalya, Tamina, Oksana, Rosa Mendes, Cameron, and Naomi. If you didn't know who Cameron and Naomi are, they're the 2 girls that come out with Brodus Clay. This, to the best of my knowledge, is their first wrestling match since they've been with the company. Well, Eve's faced off against Layla and Kaitlyn several times. They've been pushing Tamina. Natalya, they gave another stupid gimmick to. Hey, let's have her hang out with the Great Khali and Hornswoggle. They do everything but let her wrestle. I don't get it. Rosa Mendes, Oksana, Cameron, and Naomi are kind of headpieces. The interesting player in this match that they've sort of been pushing, that is just kind of coming back into the fold, that I have a feeling could win this match, is Alicia Fox. So even though Layla Eve would be a good match, Kaitlyn Eve, I think they need another match, which is probably why she's going to win. But I do think that they could swerve things up and have Alicia Fox win this match, and have Alicia Fox and Eve have a match, which I'm pretty sure it's been forever since we've had an Alicia Fox-Eve match. I don't even know if Eve wrestled Alicia Fox when Alicia Fox was champion all those months, years ago. So I'm going to pick Alicia Fox just because I want to see the match. If not, then in that case, let's do something with Caitlyn again. Because, yeah, I think that could be another good match. And if they're going to push the women's division, the Divas division, have Caitlyn have a few-month run. That would be great. She showed that she has a ton of talent. I would not be surprised if Layla was on her way out, simply because after the whole Michelle McCool thing, I don't know. Unfortunately, in the women's division, it's, well, you have the title, and you have the title, and you have the title, and then what else do? Go do movies. If I keep looking off this way, it's because the list of matches is over here, so that would be why. So I'm going to pick Alicia Fox as the winner to face Eve at the Royal Rumble, or on Raw, or wherever they decide to do it. I'm looking at the match here as to importance, so I will go with the one that's on the bottom of the list. Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara versus the Rhodes Scholars, a match that should have happened like 2 months ago, to determine the number one contenders for the tag team titles against Team Hell No. Presumably, those will be defended at the Royal Rumble. Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara, they had a ton of momentum, and I would have picked them 2 months ago. Then Cody Rhodes got hurt, grew a mustache, and now he's coming out to Dan Severn's old music, which is pretty cool. Not gonna lie, it's pretty cool. Rhodes Scholars have a ton more heat on them, and Team Hell No needs some competition. And at this point, as much as I like Team Hell No, I think their gimmick is up. Okay? Now that they're on the same page, now that they're not fighting all the time, I think the gimmick is up. It had a good run, but I think it's up. And I think the team to do that is the Rhodes Scholars. Because Cody Rhodes is super talented, and Damian Sandow has really grown on me. He was really stiff for a while, and then he had that match against Sheamus like 2 months ago, and he sold me over. I mean, he's not one of my favorites, but at least now his character, he's starting to grow on me, and not in that weird way. He's just, never mind. Damian Sandow and Cody Rhodes, I believe, will win this match and become the number one contenders for the tag team titles. Let's see here. Yeah, it's kind of an irrelevant championship for now, so we'll just stay with it. Antonio Cesaro versus R-Truth for the United States Championship. Can we please get Antonio Cesaro a legitimate opponent? I mean, every week he comes up with something just even better than before. And I think the WWE really pushed him appropriately. They knew what they had. Sorry, I'm still battling being sick. Half my building was being sick, so hopefully I'm not getting sick, but you never know. Antonio Cesaro versus R-Truth. I'm just waiting for Cassius Ohno, to show up, and the two of them have a nice little feud together. Because what the Shield tells me, which I'll get to them in a second, is that those three guys are not going to have immediate singles careers. Whereas some of these other guys you're going to see come out of NXT will. And I think it's probably good for some guys to not just be thrown into it. Cesaro was ready. He was. And he's proving it in the ring every week. And even though his gimmick is not the greatest, you have to respect his ability in the ring. So, with that said, there's no reason for Cesaro to lose the belt until they have somebody ready to take it off of him. And it gives more credibility to a championship that, quite frankly, has been lacking in it for a very long time. So I'm going to pick Antonio Cesaro to win this match and retain the United States Championship. Then we have, I'm going to go with the tag titles here. Team Hell No. Oh, I'm sorry, they're not even in a tag team title match. I'll still go with it because I was just talking about them. It's a 6-man tables, ladders, and chairs match decided by pinfall or submission. First ever TLC match decided by pinfall or submission, to the best of my knowledge. I'm sure if my buddy Ben watches this, he'll probably correct it in the comments and I'll look like a fool, but I'm pretty sure it's the first ever TLC match decided by pinfall or submission. Team Hell No and Ryback versus the group called The Shield, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns. Anybody who doesn't know, or anybody who's been living under a rock, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns are the 3 guys that come out dressed as black who attack people that are bringing injustice to the WWE. I like these 3 guys. I like that they're putting them in a position to succeed. It's a gimmick we've seen before. At least in the 3-man band's case. Okay. The last time a wrestling organization did this gimmick was the Rock and Rave Infection. Which, I get it, Jimmy Rave and Lance Hoyt, Rock, whatever you want to call him, then known as Vance Archer, which then got released, and then Christy Hemme, who's now the TNA ring announcer. Anyway. It works. It's funny. They're not getting over, but that's because they haven't done really anything controversial, except for beat Zack Ryder and Santino and International Airstrike. Justin Gabriel and Tyson Kidd. In case anybody didn't know that that's what they're calling them. Even though they never call them that on TV. So the Shield is facing 3 guys that they've attacked, and the only reason why Ryback isn't in a title contention is because CM Punk's out with a knee injury. So they just threw him into this match. Wow, this one's difficult, because if you have Team Hell No and Ryback win, you kind of kill the momentum of the Shield. I don't really know how much momentum they really have, but you kind of kill it. You're not really bringing injustice anywhere. But if Team Hell No and Ryback lose, then you kind of have them. I guess they can afford to lose more. And you know what? If you're going to take Ryback off the title picture, now would be a time to do it. Because you're not going to have him challenge CM Punk at the next pay-per-view, and I don't think you're going to have Ryback in a match leading up to WrestleMania, because I genuinely think that they don't think that they want that at WrestleMania. So the easiest way to do that is to take him off of that feud and have that team lose. So I'm going to pick the Shield to win this match. I'm going to pick Dean Ambrose to pin Kane. There you go. Dean Ambrose will pin Kane, and that's how they'll win the match. I know. I'm not real confident about it, but it's just the way it is. Alright, we have 3 matches left. Alright. Wade Barrett and Kofi Kingston for the Intercontinental Championship. Why does this remind me so much of the last time Wade Barrett had a legitimate chance at the Intercontinental title? He beat a guy that had it for a few months, that was up and coming, that they built back up again, and he had the Intercontinental title, and then he dropped it, and then he was on his way to being a potential World Heavyweight Champion, and then he got injured. And now he's back, and they've slowly built it back. Kofi Kingston has been a very entertaining Intercontinental Champion. He and The Miz had a nice little feud going. The real question is Wade Barrett ready to be the Intercontinental title holder again? And can Kofi Kingston still continue to be relevant without a title. Oh, I'm so biased on this one because Kofi Kingston has been fantastic as a champion, and I do think him being champion for at least a few more months would be great for him. However, Wade Barrett, I do believe, needs to get back on the horse and go towards being the world champion again. So I will pick Wade Barrett to win this match, even though I will not be upset if Kofi Kingston wins this match, because he's just stepped up his game. Even though I don't like his nickname Wildcat, because it reminds me way too much of Chris Harris. Yeah, for any of you that don't remember Chris Harris, just Google him. I'm not going to go into it. So I will pick Wade Barrett, but have Kofi Kingston still be relevant in some capacity. I don't know how. Very torn, but I'm going to pick Wade Barrett. Dolph Ziggler and John Cena in a ladder match. What are they climbing towards? Dolph Ziggler's Money in the Bank contract. This all started when Vicky Guerrero essentially became the Raw general manager when AJ resigned because of her alleged involvement with a superstar, which we then found out later was John Cena. And again, not on the title picture, but a high-profile feud. So Vicky comes out with all this information and says AJ and John are having an affair, even though I thought an affair was never mind. So then they get the brilliant idea of having Dolph Ziggler and John Cena be in a match against each other at TLC. Then they make it a ladder match. Then, essentially, Vince McMahon's been involved the entire time. He makes it a ladder match for Dolph Ziggler's Money in the Bank contract. Alright. Dolph Ziggler has failed to cash in his Money in the Bank since he won it in Phoenix at Money in the Bank. He's had some chances to cash it in. Quite frankly, he's had some wonderful opportunities to cash it in, and he just hasn't. Because the whole thing is, he's afraid of losing it. Whereas John Cena, he won the other Money in the Bank contract at that same event, cashed it at Raw 1000, lost to CM Punk, and has kind of been irrelevant ever since. Well, John Cena being irrelevant is kind of... Anyway. The problem I have is this. If you have John Cena win this match, then technically he has to challenge the SmackDown champion, which means he'd be on SmackDown, which I don't think they want to do. Or they have some stupid clause where, no, you have a contract, but you're on Raw, so you can still challenge for the Raw title. But then you just kill Dolph Ziggler if you do that. The other thing I could definitely see happening is Dolph Ziggler wins the match, realizes that he really has to get rid of this thing, and cashes in later in the night and becomes the champion. I could see that happening too. Get to that in a second. I will pick Dolph Ziggler to win this match because, quite frankly, I don't think John Cena needs it. However, that would be a nice twist for John Cena to win and somehow be able to cash in on The Rock. That would be hilarious. If it plays out that way, wow. But I will pick Dolph Ziggler to win this match and retain his Money in the Bank contract. And finally, the only championship match for the big belts, because CM Punk is out with a knee injury until at least the Royal Rumble when he faces The Rock. Which, by the way, I believe this is the week where we have Raw on Monday, live SmackDown on Tuesday, Tribute to the Troops Wednesday, Big Show is on some show on Thursday, and CM Punk is hosting the Game Plan, which has The Rock in it, on Friday. I think Big Show's on Burn Notice, USA, and then Game Plan is being shown on USA. So there you go. There's your week. Raw Monday, SmackDown Tuesday, Tribute to the Troops Wednesday, and then watch Burn Notice with Big Show on Thursday, and the Game Plan hosted by CM Punk. Big Show and Sheamus in a chairs match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Big Show won his match against Sheamus. I believe it was a pay-per-view or two ago. And then for this one, actually it was last month, I believe, at Survivor Series. They signed a no contact clause in which Big Show pushed the table over and then signed it, and Sheamus had already signed it, and yeah. It's going to be a very brutal match. I could see this going either way. There's going to be lots of chair shots and lots of hitting people. I don't think it matters who wins, because I actually think as long as Dolph Ziggler's match isn't right before this match, I think he's going to cash in. I do. What would be funny is if he cashed in before his ladder match against John Cena. Hey, they have a ladder match for nothing. That would be genius. Can't believe nobody's thought of that. Hey, actually, I'm going to cash in before my match. Oh, wait. And then the ladder match is for the World Heavyweight title. That'd be a Paul Heyman thing to do. Paul Heyman is around. Not in this case. I will pick the Big Show to win this match in a very brutal match. There's really no reason to take him off of it unless you have Sheamus win and then Dolph Ziggler just take it off of him. I could see that too. But I will pick Big Show to win this match, and I will pick Dolph Ziggler to cash in. Calling it now. So there you go. There is your TLC Predictions preview. I'll give you a quick rundown once again of my picks. Pre-show, the Santa's Little Helper Battle Royal. I'm picking Alicia Fox to become the #1 contender. I'm picking Rhodes Scholars to become the #1 contenders for the tag team titles. I'm picking Antonio Cesaro to retain his United States Championship over R-Truth. I'm picking The Shield to beat Team Hell No and Ryback. I'm picking Wade Barrett to become the new Intercontinental Champion. Dolph Ziggler to win his ladder match and retain his Money in the Bank contract. And the Big Show to win his chairs match against Sheamus, only for Dolph Ziggler to cash in and become the new World Heavyweight Champion. Check it out. UnderTheWire85 on YouTube. I should have videos every week, once again, as long as my schedule permits it. I'll have a This Week in Wrestling. TNA had a pay-per-view actually it was last Sunday. They had a pay-per-view. But we'll talk TNA possibly next time. Until then, enjoy the video. Watch my other videos. I'm sorry I was out for so long. Take it easy, everybody.